Best Dekalb honor as the best mayor of Dekalb County for 2015, which he also won in 2014. So congratulations to him for that. But this is a different award. This is something that we're doing for the first time. Back in November, December, we started asking readers for nominations. Back then, we wanted people to nominate folks who were achievers, not just career-wise, but also in the community as well, that people had given back in various ways. And I'm proud to announce a couple of people that have been selected. They were nominated to the newspaper, and we've selected them and want to congratulate them tonight. They were nominated, and as we went through those nominations, we selected them for the 40 under 40, which is something that we've selected 40 young leaders, 40 years old and younger, that will be selected or highlighted in a magazine that will be in the Times Journal in May. But you may have seen this on Facebook, that we started going out to different businesses and saluting these folks. So be looking for that in May, but we're starting this now. And our first one that I want to salute tonight is Melissa Ledbetter. Congratulations. And then also Mayor Nick Jones. Alabama tried to stick it. I'm sorry, Nick. Excited about our new coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Items on the agenda, personnel update. We've got a resignation from Ms. Carrie Foreman. And also a recommendation from Land Environmental that we've sort of been talking about for months, about some upgrading of the sewer plant. And started out as a pretty big project. It's still a big project, been downsized some. Debbie got some of the details out to you guys last week. Need to make a decision tonight on moving forward or not, or reshaping it. We are going to change some of the stuff that would probably have to be reviewed. Any discussion?
A rebidding process generally results in a higher bid. Is there any way that we can just omit the stuff from the current bid and not have to rebid it? Alan, what are we looking at taking out?
We're looking at taking out the belt press.
Okay.
And also later on in the second phase of the project, we're looking at doing away with redoing 2 pump stations.
Okay, that's the Parker Avenue.
And 35.
Okay.
We could get a grant probably later on if somebody expands in the industrial park, a lot better grant than what we can get with this. To affect those pumps.
So essentially, we're bidding out for 2 leachate tanks and all the prep work to tie them into the system.
And a digester.
And a digester and a 400K generator. Right.
Those signs. And that's the bare bones of it, really. We decided to take the belt press out and use the bed that we got now because that digester will utilize so much better is what we, the process we do, that for a while we get by without the praise.
A project that is self-funded.
Right.
So this actually may have a positive effect to the general fund, because it may turn the wastewater treatment plant into a revenue generator instead of the opposite. As far as the financing of it, we were looking at, who was the loan going to be through, who we applied for?
Yes, USDA.
Yes.
What was the term? Is it we're going to be
I don't know about
20, 30, 40?
I think last time we talked, it was the 40.
And then we were going to throw additional money on top of it from that leachate to knock it out quicker.
Right.
Still not determined, what the level of match is going to be. Maximum is going to be 45%.
Okay.
And ultimately, taking out the pumping stations from the, and some of the other stuff made sense, because if we do get another big tenant in the industrial park, there's economic development grants that have up to an 80% grant attached to it that we can fund that with. We can do it off the back of a new tenant moving.
And Dekalb moves fast on any type of grant for economic improvement. So we don't have to wait for a certain cycle to apply for it. If we do have a tenant that wants to build in the industrial park, we could easily go to the Dekalb and get, like you said, a grant that's an 80% grant, 20% match for industrial development.
Or expansion for farm.
How would be the best way to word that, to bring that up, to go forward with?
We'll just be accepting the recommendation of the Light Environmental to set the bid for.
Is the bid broke down in parts where we can take those out?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's not like just a total overall
No,
bid,
it's not like a total.
or phase one or phase two?
It is phase one and phase two, but we can cut parts of the bid,
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
no problem.
Phase one had the,
One time.
one tank and all the prep work and tying that tank into the system. It also had the digester installed on the back end of the process. And originally it was a belt press.
Right.
We looked at a dewatering press to take the place of that, but both of those are not in the scenario at this point in time.
The only thing I've got to bring up tonight is, I got on my list here, the architect fee for the remodeling of the Weekly Post building. We've all looked at the plans, and I met with the architect the other day, went over all the plans with him on what we want, and if there were, any changes or anything. He made some suggestions from a safety, handicap accessible. He made some suggestions in that, he's going to make some plans, draw them up. We're just a little different than what we had, but it's real close to what we had. His fee, I was going to print it off for you. I got an old computer where it wouldn't print his files. So his fee was $15,200. That is the design, the heat and air unit design, the preliminary work outside, overseeing the project, and that's every bit of his fees. That's all the fees are for, just to take care of the whole project. He starts it from the bid and finishes it up at the end. So he oversees every bit. And that's Robert Thompson out of Birmingham.
It also included how do they say it? He's going to be there during the construction. He's going to oversee the
Yeah, he's going to
construction.
oversee it.
Make sure everything's built to spec for that on, so
What's the cost of it?
be bidded out.
You'll have to get it out.
What's he guessing?
He didn't give me a figure on what he thinks. The figure that I had a while back was somewhere around $45,000 to bid, but now he's made some changes, just a couple of little changes, and when he gets them on paper, I'll bring them back to you. But For safety, it had to have extra doors, had to have wheelchair ramps out both, and being able to access it, wheelchair. Had to have a few changes made for that part, and so he had to go back and redesign some of it. Gonna take that loading ramp off on the end. You're there on the far end, had like a roller door, take that all off and redo all that. He's gonna have to make some changes on it. But anyway, I was gonna bring the feedback tonight, tell you how much it's gonna be, and let y'all decide what you wanna do. So, 15-2. That's all I have.
All right, we had a meeting this past week with Robert, or the rezoning committee with Robert Keefe, who's wanting to annex some of his property in to build, I think it's a mini storage, and we missed getting everybody a letter out besides Greg Skaggs. Greg Skaggs is the only one that hasn't seen it. Richard has talked with him verbally, and he has no problem with it, but I want to get like an affidavit drawn up where he can sign off on it, and then I'll bring that to the council for their decision on what that was. But since we missed that one name, we just want to get something in writing for it. Make sure. And then we've established our farmers market committee and the dates and everything that we're going to do that. And we've actually kind of put a board together with some officers because there's going to be some money involved that we didn't have last year. And the president's going to be Felicia Mitchell. Vice President's Tammy Gregory, Secretary is Megan Mitchell, and the Treasurer is Kay Guffey. The other board members are Sandy Hallmark, Kevin Miller, and Vanessa Brown. And then I've got 4 other names for alternates if they can't be there for a meeting. But we've got opening date set for June the 4th. We're going to run through October the 1st.
Room is still on flow through City Hall.
Still going to go through City Hall, but we thought, that's what we was going to ask too, if we needed to open a separate account just for the farmers market to be able to pay for the advertising and some stuff out of it. And I was going to ask while we're asking too,
Is there any farmers market revenue?
we're going, this year, we're going to charge all of our local growers with DeKalb County $2 a week to set up. If you're at DeKalb County, it's going to be free. Last year, we didn't charge a fee. We're the only people that didn't. So we're going to do that to generate a little bit of revenue. But we also made a package, like if they can pay $30 if you're local the whole year, or $45 if you're out of town. And then do that, the whole thing, give you a designated spot to have it set up.
I would say that this is
We can do it.
But I was going to ask also the council, we got an estimate too, because we want to be able to set up ourselves. Like I said, we had a bunch of calls last year, people want to buy t-shirts. We did one t-shirt order and they was gone before you could ever do anything. I talked with Printco, or Megan did the day talk with Printco and got a price for 100 shirts. And they're not made out of regular material, they're not dry fit, I don't know what you really call it, but I've got one kind of go by, let y'all see, but there's about $7.92 a piece, so I was gonna ask the council if we could buy 100 shirts. They'll be for sale for the farmer's market, and some of them will be given away. And that's all I've got.
I have, let me see, the Tom Bevel floors I had brought up at a meeting prior, but I didn't have the exact number, and here's the estimate if y'all want to look at it. It's $2,950. It's just to clean and recoat the hardwood floors. We did not do this last year. It's been a couple of years since we've done it, so if you want to check that out, that's from Monarch Carpets. I'm going to bring it up to get approved for that. Also to post the city judge vacancy job. This will be per Code of Alabama 12-1430 through 12-1434. I have something to address, and I'm going to take responsibility for this because I should have been the one to catch it. And I think our intent was different the way it worded. And I had it right in front of me. But our job posting resolution, others may, at the table may disagree, but my intent was for the job description to be posted on Alabama League's website, our website, and to post a reference that there's an available job with the pay, the closing date, or maybe a reference back to the city's website, not for the entire job description to be posted in the newspaper, because that expense can really get up a lot of money. So that's our fault. It's in there exactly like that. It was done exactly like that. But if we don't want to move on the job description on the judge's position being posted this week because of there being an error in here, I can amend it for the next meeting and then we can move on at that point. Or if everybody's okay with me just putting a little exception that we just say, because the judge's position is not, we can't put a job description to it. It's by statute. It doesn't matter what we want them to do. So what I would ask is that it's just an available city judge with the amount of pay that's in the pay scale, has a closing date. We take out the 7 internal, obviously, because no one can apply for it internally, and then just post it from tomorrow, and then, what's it, 14 days? I think it's 14 days, yeah, 14 days consecutively afterwards. So, does anybody have a problem with me making an exception to this? Do we want to wait until I can get it amended? I didn't realize it until it was too late for me to do it. Okay. So, okay, I'll be doing that. And then I just wanted to kind of update on the annex building. Roger can vouch for me. Roger helped me a ton in the beginning. I have gone through every avenue possible to try to fix the annex building that they're in, the basement of the police department, and the air quality test keeps on coming back just not good. Nothing we've done has corrected the problem. So I have talked to Joe Smith, he's in Rainbow City, and I just asked him to put a very aggressive plan in how we can fix the basement and what all it needs to be done. And so hopefully I'll get that this week and I can bring it up within the next couple meetings to move on that. That's all I have.
I'm good.
We have a resolution declaring some property surplus. That is the tractor and the lawnmower that replaced. I'm going that to be passed tonight. I also have 4 job postings to post internally. These are all at the shop. One is for a mechanic's position. The other one is for a backup driver, general laborer, a residential garbage truck driver, and a roll-off truck operator and backup driver. The reason that we're posting 4 of these jobs to fill 1 vacancy is that we believe that there's going to be some internal maneuvering within that division, and all of these will be filled internally except for 1. Then after the 7-day period, the one that's not filled, we will post for the general public to fill it. So I'll be asking us to post all 4 of these jobs available. From 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Saturday 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. To take advantage of this, you must be a Rainsville resident. You can stop by City Hall if you have any questions. They do ask that you bring identification to prove that you are from Rainsville. You can do so with either a driver's license or a copy with your bill of a bill that has your name and address on it. I will have a more of a detailed plan for how we're going to tackle the roads and the issues that we're having right now at our next meeting. I'm trying to put together a proposal and figure out a way that we can fund it where we can get back to paving or resurfacing 5 miles of roads each year. And the 5 miles of roads each year is sort of a magical number, so to speak. If you start off by doing 5 miles, by the time you get through all the roads in the city, the ones that you had started on are going to be needing resurfaced. So it's prior administrations have used that, and it has worked very well. We have gotten away from it here recently, and that's led us into the situation where we are now. But I'll address that in more detail next meeting. I believe that's all that
Can I add something I forgot to before we go? This Saturday at 9 o'clock, we're having opening day. Field of Dreams. All baseball, softball, everything starts at 9 o'clock Saturday morning. Not completely forgot about it. Weather permitting, so as long as it's not coming down forward, been down forward, we'll all be there Saturday morning. And this was a new logo that they had made up for their shirts and stuff too. I was gonna pass that around. I lost it in my stack. That's all I've got here. Again.
Any other business?
We've got 1 minute left before the meeting starts. Anybody want to take up that 1 minute for us?
All right, the meeting will come to order. Graham,
Present.
Holt, here. Ledbetter,
Here.
Freeman, here. Lingerfeld, here. You all had a chance to look over the minutes from the last meeting.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes as presented from the last meeting.
All right.
I'll second it. I would prefer not to second it since I wasn't here. I know that doesn't matter.
Oh, I'll second it.
Motion by Freeman to accept the minutes as presented, second by Graham. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. As I mentioned in the workshop, we've got a recommendation from Land Environmental to accept the bid for the wastewater treatment plant improvements.
I'll make that the motion that we accept the bid from Land Environmental.
I second that.
I would interject, you may want to reword it to accept the recommendation.
The recommendation of the bid from Land
Want to reword
Environmental.
that?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, it may get technical.
Correct.
Now, is this us rebidding it?
No,
Okay.
no, this is their recommendation. This is the original bid.
Right.
Second, or a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The only thing I had is the architect fee to move forward on the weekly post building. I'll put that in the form of a motion to hire Robert Thompson for architect fee for $15,200 to do the design work and bid process, overseeing the weekly post building to remodel it.
I'll second that motion.
We got a motion from Lingerfeld to hire a architect, remodel weekly post building, $15,200, second by Graham. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
That's all good.
Graham?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a, I don't really know if it's making a motion or how to ask to probably go about drawing up an affidavit to have Greg Skaggs sign that.
Make a motion to empower Derek Patterson.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to empower Derek Patterson to draw up an affidavit to Greg Skaggs stating he has no problem with the rezoning fee of the Robert Keefe's new buildings he's wanting to build.
I second that.
A motion by Freeman, second by Ledbetter. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And also I want to ask the council if they would be interested in purchasing 100 shirts for the farmer's market at $7.92 a piece.
Are you making that into a motion?
Yes, I really am.
Or?
I was just asking real nicely first.
I
Yeah.
That was the most polite motion I've
That's
heard.
exactly. Need to be nice when you ask me for something, yeah.
I second it.
Motion by Freeman, second by Ledbetter. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have.
I make a motion to accept Monarch Carpet's estimate on the floors for the Tom Bevel Center for $2,950.
I say,
Motion by Ledbetter, second by Lingerfeld. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. I make a motion to post the city judge position for the city of Rainsville with the opening date of April 7th, 2015, for it to be posted on the city's website, sent off to the Alabama League by 4 p.m. on April 7th, and for it to be run in the local newspaper with a reference to the job description being on the city's website, with the closing date 14 days out, including the city judge pay that's per the scale, and the job description that will be on.
Have you got that wrote down?
I can, I'm sorry, I have shorthand.
Uh,
I'm just making sure that we have it all in the motions, that I'm not doing anything outside of my authority.
Well, I just want to make sure Debbie gets it right.
Yeah.
And then-
I'll hand this to her. I've got all the statutes printed out too. But the job description will be Code of Alabama 12-14-30 through 34. That's all of that. So that was my entire motion, and I'm done.
I say,
Motion by Ledbetter, second by Lingerfeld. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
I make a motion that we pass and adopt Resolution 4-6-2015, a declaration of surplus city property.
I say,
Motion by Graham to pass and adopt the stated resolution, second by Lingerfeld. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
We've got 4 job openings. Can I make this all in one motion, or do they need to be individual motions for the shop?
this just be internal, or you gonna run?
It's gonna be internal. And then whichever ones, after they get through playing musical chairs, there'll be one that's gonna be posted publicly. I'm gonna do them all in one motion then. I make a motion that we post the position for a mechanic, a general laborer, residential garbage truck driver, roll-off truck operator. With the salary range being what's listed in our pay scale.
Can you add to your motion the dates that it will be, that it starts to be posted, when it needs to be posted?
Today is the 6th. To be posted tomorrow, the 7th, through the 14th internally.
And does that have to be 7 business days or 7?
Just a 7 day.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Motion by Graham, second by Ledbetter. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion that we accept the resignation of Ms. Carol Foreman.
Motion by Graham, second by Linville. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I have one more motion. I move that we pay the monthly bills as presented to us by the treasurer.
Second that.
Motion by Graham to pay the monthly bills as presented by the treasurer, second by Freeman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
And with that, I'd like to make another motion. I'd like to move to adjourn.
I second that.
Motion by Graham to adjourn the meeting, second by Ledbetter. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.